Pastor Isler. Thank you, Mr. Shackman and the board. Thank you, the faculty. Thank you to all of you. Thank you, the students. Thank you to the chair, Mosaic Harmony. Thank you to everyone in Wilbraham, and thank you to everyone in the world. I'm going to start my speech with a favorite poem of mine that really kind of deeply resonates with me. Our deepest fear is not that we're inadequate. Our deepest fear is that we're powerful beyond measure. It is our light, not our darkness, that most frightens us. We ask ourselves, who am I to be brilliant, gorgeous, talented, and fabulous? Actually, who are you not to be? You're a child of God. Your playing small does not serve the world. There's nothing enlightened about shrinking so that other people will not feel insecure around you. We're all meant to shine as children do. We were born to manifest the glory of God that is within us. It's not just in some of us, it's in everyone. And as we let our own light shine, we consciously give others permission to do the same. As we are liberated from our own fear, our presence automatically liberates others. This is really, really cool for me. So once again, thank you for having me. I'm very honored and very humbled to be here. I was sitting where the students are sitting today 10 years ago, and very anxious about the future, but also excited about my own dreams and things that I would go out and do. I came to Academy in 2003 from when I was 14 years old from Rostov-on-Don, Russia. My English at the time wasn't as good as it is today. The culture I came from was very different, and I still remember imagining what my first day in American boarding school would be like, and it was very different here at the school. When I walked into Ridge Hall and into my dorm, I remember meeting my roommate from Korea and learning the first words I learned from him were "Anyo" and "Pekupa," which means "Hi, I'm hungry." And throughout my time here, I really stayed hungry. I stayed hungry for knowledge. I stayed hungry for experiences. I stayed hungry to challenge myself and change things. This is a fine institution, proved to be an incredible place. While I took 3 years of Spanish in school, I became fluent from conversing with my best friend from Mexico. While I read about physics in books, I was thrilled to go to class to see Mr. Diavanzo, yet again run into the wall and just almost tried to break almost every bone in his body to teach us something. I was excited to start the first recycling program and do a number of environmental and conservative initiatives under the guidance of Mr. Kinblum. Mr. Jura challenged me in the theater class like Mr. Juche challenged me in the wrestling room. Mr. Swanson introduced us to issues happening in Rwanda and South Africa and helped us lead initiatives that actually created an impact. And of course, Miss Bauer was always there to take care of me whenever I got sick or just needed a note from a doctor. This place to me is very special. It's a lot of memories for me. It'll be a lot of memories for all of you. There are thousands of them, especially because we're in the midst of a rich tradition in this wonderful place we call Wilbraham Monson Academy. One of the issues, though, that you have with tradition and memories that it is could be the memories of it could be your jailer, because if you live by tradition, you can stay back in the past. If you build on tradition, you can become not a school and a bunch of people, but one of dreams. And today is the day of dreaming. I'm a living proof that you can dream. I gotta tell you now that I'm probably one of the biggest dreamers you'll ever meet. You can't tell me I can't do this. You can't tell me I can't do that. Number one, I am not built that way. And number two, I'm a graduate of Wilbraham Monson Academy. Yes. What I want you to do from now is not worry about your future, but go after your dreams. I want you to go out and play in traffic. I want you to make things happen. That's right, nothing is going to happen unless you go out and play in traffic, and not be afraid to play in traffic. Do things, take some risks. Brian Chesky, a young entrepreneur in San Francisco, could not afford to rent his apartment in San Francisco, so he started a website where people could rent a couch from him. For 3 years, he tried to turn this little project into a business. He had to sell cereal to support himself and pay off his credit card debt, and things weren't really working, but he had a desire and a vision to change things. He used very modest tools, and today the company he has created is Airbnb, one of the fastest growing companies in the world. Not so long ago, there was a guy named Walid Gonim, who's an Egyptian, who was a Google executive. He used Facebook, something very modest, to put up a picture of an Egyptian named Khalid Saeed, so that everybody in Egypt could see an image of a man beaten, and he started a revolution. These people went out and did things because they had a desire to make something happen. They had a desire to make a difference. They had a desire to make the world better because they wanted to change things. When I graduated from here, I went on to Babson College. In my sophomore year, I took a helm of the Entrepreneurship Club there and had a deep desire to connect students and kind of get them to start businesses and really kind of use entrepreneurship for the power of good. I met a friend out of UPenn, and together we started an organization called the Kairos Society. Before we even had a registered entity though, we dreamed big and we had these grand ideas of what the Kairos Society could become. And we were both invited to this charity dinner when we were both 18, 19 in New York that Bill Clinton was attending. The night before the dinner, we drafted up a letter for the fundraiser, and the fundraiser approached him and invited Bill Clinton, the former president of the United States, to be our speaker at an organization that didn't even exist, was not even registered. But it didn't matter because we had an idea and we believed that if we're going to create something great, we're going to have to go after the biggest people, and with that desire, we went out to create one of the largest, now today, the world's largest student entrepreneurship organization. Our mission was to get students to solve problems that over 1 billion people face on Earth and use the power of entrepreneurship for good. 3 years after starting the organization, we would host our annual conference in the New York Stock Exchange, the United Nations, and attracted mentors like Bill Gates, Steve Forbes, Rockefeller family, Bill Clinton, Peter Diamandis, and many others. And we got coverage from everyone from CNN to Wall Street Journal to CNBC and many, many others. When we started this initiative, we had no money, very few connections, but we had a vision, a passion, and a dream. And it happened because we decided to make things happen. So for you, graduates, go out and knock on some doors, go out and make something happen, have fun. Do what you gotta do to make things happen. And I gotta say, in this class, sitting through this prize ceremony, you do have people in this class that do exactly that. One of them I wanted to point out is Venyan Gabriel. Where is he? Right here. Venyan is ranked as a 23rd basketball player in the country by ESPN. This past year, Venyan participated in the 10th. Yeah. 15? Oh, so he's so my stats are out. Okay. Venyan participated in the 10th annual Under Armour Elite 24 Showcase, an event this past year. I guess now he's been much better than that, but it was the award to showcase 24 best high school prospects in the world. And heard you chose Kentucky, so congratulations on that choice. To continue your basketball career over Duke, UConn, and many other options that you had. Great job, man, and I just hope you remember me when you get into the NBA. Varsity softball won the Class B championship last weekend against number 1 It's the first time that the softball team has won the championship in the history of the school. So. There are a number of things that you have to do when you play in traffic. There are a number of road signs that you have to follow. Number one is you gotta have a vision. You gotta know where you're going. You gotta know where your destination is. Number two is you gotta have a passion. Passion is a wonderful thing. It's a DNA of life. You have to have a passion that makes the vision and your dream come to a reality. And you also, the third thing is you have to have integrity that accompanies the passion and accompanies the vision at the same time. And lastly, you have to believe. You have to believe because you are a graduate of the Wilbraham Monson Academy and that anything is possible. When I was in college, I took the initiative to participate in business plan competition and consequently got invited to International Economic Forum in St. Petersburg, Russia. That was at the time, it was the year 2011, hosted by President of Russia, Dmitry Medvedev. It was a very fancy event, and I was very kind of honored to be there. You don't really get to see the president too much. You get to see him at the opening ceremony on Wednesday and then the closing ceremony on Saturday. And the rest of the time he's usually busy with meeting with other presidents and heads of multinational corporations. But my luck had it where I was sitting in the tech panel, just among the audience, maybe 150 people in the room, and in the middle of the panel, the president walked in through the back door, sat down in the middle, stayed for 10 minutes, listened to everyone talk, stood up, gave a speech, and as he was exiting the room, I stood up, rushed over to him. His closest bodyguard stopped me, and I said, "Mr. President, my name is Alexander Debelov. I'm the co-founder of the world's largest student entrepreneurship organization. Can I speak with you?" And I don't know whether it was just my approach or what, but the president said, "Sure, come here." And so we walked out through the back door, and I said, "Look, you're looking to create tech change in Russia. You really want to make sure that there's more tech companies being started. But if you look at Silicon Valley, you will notice that Bill Gates was 19 when he started Microsoft. Mark Zuckerberg was 19 when he started Facebook. Steve Jobs was 21 when he started Apple. You need the young people to create these tech companies. And if you look in Russia, by census, the last thing that people, graduates of universities, want to do is start companies. We need to change that perspective. We need to inspire them. We need to give them role models, to really aspire to and actually want to start companies. And I said, and the way we do that is we organize an event where we bring some of the brightest students together, where we bring speakers that will inspire them from Silicon Valley, and I'm happy to organize this, and I'm happy to put this together. And we get it televised, and we get a lot of PR around it, and we inspire the next generation of Russian young entrepreneurs. The president loved the idea. His advisor was next to him, so he introduced me to him. I asked him to take a picture. He said, "Yeah, of course." I took a picture. I went back to my seat. Within a minute, I had four guys in black suits around me saying, "Okay, you have to come with us." They escorted me to another building within the conference confines. Took my passport, and it was a really surreal experience because I'm sitting there being detained by Russian Secret Service for a meeting with President of Russia, and then kind of realizing, holy shit, I just met with President of Russia. And I'm being detained by Russian Secret Service for doing that. So they finally let me go. First they kind of went through my documents, then they asked me some questions for an hour or so, and said that you should come back to Russia more often. I was like, okay. And they let me go. And then 6 months later, we actually organized a conference. I brought Steve Wozniak, co-founder of Apple, to Russia. I brought on that trip George Whiteside, CEO of Virgin Galactic, Peter Westerbacka, co-founder of Angry Birds, and many other really wonderful people. Paul Buchheit, creator of Gmail, and many other really, really cool people. We had a group of 20 people that came to Russia to meet with the president and everybody there. At the time, I was 22 years old. I had no money. I had nothing to my name at all. I was at this conference by accident. And I actually didn't even know most of the people that ended up coming on the trip. But one thing I did have, I had a dream, I had a vision, and I had passion to actually go out and make it happen. And like I said before, that if you believe in yourself and you believe in what you're doing, anything is possible. Today is a very special day for me because both of my parents are here and they can finally see me at Wilbraham Monson Academy's graduation. When I graduated here 10 years ago, they couldn't be here. It was a long way to travel from Rostov-on-Don, Russia, but 10 years later, they finally made it. My parents, like many of your parents, have had to make a lot of sacrifices for me to attend this wonderful place. Value your parents, love them, because long before you had the vision of you sitting here with a degree and a hope for the future, they envisioned being here today watching you on this grand occasion. So please, give them an applause like you have never given an applause to anyone before. Where's Emily Drumgold? Emily? She's here? Oh, she's a junior. Well, anyway. Well, I wanted to highlight Emily, even though she's a junior not graduating today. She's a pianist who organized for a couple of years now a fundraising concert to raise money for student community service project in Rwanda. Mark Su, another member of the community, raised money for orphanages in Nepal. He spends his vacation times doing community service around the globe. David Little, Ellie Collins Anderson, Tony Zhang, Joy Wang, Colin O'Brien, and Mark Zhu, you guys have all been class offers over the last 4 years. And you have done such an incredible job that this graduating class is the first class in the history of the school to get 100% of annual fund participation in their senior year, and they did it in 1 week in the fall. So let's give it a In the words of Headmaster Easler, you have been an amazing class. This is something he wrote to me. This place is not an institution, it's a cause. This place is about hearts being joined together so that people can help each other. It's a faculty-student thing, where people help each other and they feel close to each other so they can bond to make dreams come true. So I think it's really important, and I know that you said thank you to the faculty earlier, but I don't think it was the standing ovation that these people should really get, because these people are really good. They come here every day and they nurture your hearts, they nurture your minds so that you can become special and do the things that you need to do in the years to come. So please stand up and give them a standing ovation. The next road sign along the way is passion. If vision is where you're going, then passion is a commitment to get you there, and that's the second big sign along the way. When I attended this school, there was a lot less technology. We definitely didn't have Mark Shankman's training center, that's for sure. But the school was full of heart. It had it then, it has it now, and it will always have it. But I'll tell you, ladies and gentlemen, especially you graduates, you can Google me, you can Google a career, you can Google Mark Shankman, you can even Google how to find something, but you cannot Google where to find your heart. I want you all to find what that passion is. It doesn't matter what it is, find it. Now I'm going to share like a more personal story, because you guys heard about my company that I started 4 years ago called Virool. The basic story behind it is actually, when I graduated from college, my dream, my long dream, and my passion at the time was to go to Silicon Valley and start a tech company. So I kind of packed my bags, I drove across the country, landed to Silicon Valley, and I was like, here I am, I'm gonna make it happen. But it was really, really hard. I started a project in college, it didn't work out. I started another company while in Silicon Valley in my first year there, and I was working like 100-hour weeks and making maybe what I would have made working 40-hour weeks somewhere else. So it wasn't really working out. And when I first started Virool, it was a good idea, but not many people believed in it. And I remember in the first 6 months of the company, I would go and pitch many investors. I think I pitched like 30 different investors, and everybody said, wow, yeah, that's a fantastic concept, great idea, but not a single one wanted to invest or back the project. And it got to the point where I started to run out of funds to live. I didn't have any money to start the business, let alone, kind of exhausting all my savings in this process. And it got to the point where I was out of money. I had an apartment and food I needed to buy food and I needed to pay for my apartment. And I like to think of myself as, somebody is proud of being independent and not asking for help. But at that moment I felt, kind of vulnerable. And so I called my parents and I said, Mom and Dad, I'm working on this thing, I need just a little bit more time to make it happen. I would really appreciate if you guys could loan me money for rent and food for the next month. And my parents very lovingly said, Alex, look, you're young, you just graduated college not so long ago. We understand that you're running this business, and we're happy to loan you the money, but this is what we want you to do. We want you to shut down your company and in the next months go and find a job. Get some experience and start a business later on in your career. And it was weird because I was lying in bed that night thinking to myself, couldn't fall asleep, thinking that like, wow, a lot of my friends who graduated from college went on to have jobs somewhere, and when I tell them I'm starting my own business and doing this thing, they kind of look at me as if, like, oh, you can't like find a job, so you're starting a business. Okay. So not many of them believed in me. My parents all of a sudden didn't believe in me, and so I'm lying there thinking to myself like, shit, like, what am I supposed to do? And it's tough because, right, like you have that feeling in your heart that what you're after is what you're passionate about, this is what your dream is, but things are not coming easy. And in that moment in time, I decided that, I'd rather be homeless, I'd rather lose everything than fail in pursuing my dream, and that I will do everything possible in order to make my dream happen. Today, my company has over 80 employees. We have offices in San Francisco, LA, Chicago, Toronto, London, New York, and we've made a lot of buzz in our industry. And last year, in November of last year, we got approached by a publicly traded company that offered to buy us for $150 million. It's an offer that I very respectfully declined because my vision and my dream is to build something much grander and something much bigger. So, for all of you that played a sport, whether it was basketball, cross country, field hockey, tennis, if you did it with passion, please stand up. Please, you guys, stand up. For any of you in the classroom, in the laboratory, in the theater, if you did it with passion, stand up and please keep standing. Ladies and gentlemen, these are the Titans. Never forget this moment. These are the Titans that are bonded together in their pursuit of excellence, their pursuit of passion, and remembering at all times that you're joined together because you share the same passion. God bless you. If you're going to play in traffic, if you're going to have a vision, if you're going to have passion, it's important that you have integrity. Integrity is about who you are. Don't be anyone else. Be who you are, be truthful to yourself, and you will never go wrong if you don't forget about that. Everything in life is possible. I told you, everything in life is possible, no matter where you graduate from, but anything in life is possible, especially if you graduate from Wilbraham Monson Academy Class. All you students, I want you to repeat after me. Anything is possible. 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 I am who I am today because I went to school that challenged my status quo. I went to school that challenged me. I went to school that taught me to ask and don't accept. Do what you have to do to make things better and make a difference. Anything is possible. After World War II, after dramatic speeches on the BBC and giving the courage to the British people to fight, Winston Churchill runs for re-election and gets beat. Unbelievable. He gives the shortest concession speech probably ever given in the history of politics. And he says, "My fellow Brits, success is never final, failure is never fatal. All that's important is courage. Today, you're having great success. It's not final. You have tomorrow to contend to, next week, a year after. And there will be days when you're not so hot. Those will not be your days. It's not fatal. All that's important is courage. You can constantly strive to make a difference if you have courage. If you're a man who constantly struggles for 3 years and has to sell cereal in order to start a travel website, you have courage. If you're a man who changes the face of the nation in Egypt, you have courage. The courage is to have vision. The courage is to have passion. The courage is to have integrity. The courage is to believe that anything is possible. Most people in the world know all of these words. They know the word vision, but they don't see it. They know the word passion, but they don't feel it. They know the word integrity, but they don't live by it. They know the words, but they don't know the music. In the years at Wilbraham Monson Academy, you've learned the words. I've just told you where the music comes from. It comes from your heart. That's what you learn here. You've learned heart. Now you know the words and you know the music, and by knowing the words and the music, anything is possible. Let me hear it. Anything is possible. They're ready, set people, and they're ready, set, go people. They're the ready, set people, they ponder, analyze, and they never jump. And the go people are the people who make difference. For all those years that you've been here, you've been yelling what? Go Titans. So let me hear it. Now you know why you've been yelling Go Titans this whole time. Because you are the go people. You are the people that will make a difference. Go out and make something happen. Play in traffic. Go Titans. God bless you.